Good evening, this Saturday evening. This is Trending News. Thank you so much for making time for us. Now we have a bulletin for you from politics all the way to matters drought. This is Trending News. My name is Brian Amoy. Once again, we will be taking we'll be having the highlights first before we get into the bulletin this evening.
The news headlines in association with
Summoning the DP, Siaya Senator James Durengo calls on Parliament to summon Deputy President William Ruto over his protest on the deportation of Turkish businessman Harun Aydin. Mitigating drought, Kenyan government puts up measures to deal with the drought affecting 10 counties. Hakainde Hichilema has taken an early lead in the country's presidential election over incumbent Edgar Lungu, according to results from the commission today.
Now, remember you can get in touch with us on our social media handles at Amoy Brown on Twitter at LookUpTV. We are also live on Facebook at LookUpTV, or you can send us an SMS on 20374. Let's get started. Now, Senator James Durengo has called on Parliament to summon Deputy President William Ruto following his involvement with deported Turkish businessman Harun Aydin. Durengo says the protest by the DP is loud and it indicates other interest because the Turkish embassy in Kenya has not complained about the matter.
Finally, I'm asking my brother, the leader of minority in the National Assembly, together me and you. I have seen today a committee of the National Assembly has brought to give evidence on this Turkish man. And I want the media to note that since this man was deported, there has been no statement of protest from the Turkish embassy. No note of protest or from the Turkish government because they know his habits. But it has been established that the working documents, the working permit rather, this Turkish man had was a forged work for money laundering. And, you know, I saw Ramaphosa giving evidence before a commission in the South Africa. Kaluma, we must summon Ruto before the parliamentary committee to speak on these matters and give us an answer if he's being truthful. Angene mano kwa makregi. Yeah. Let him come to that parliamentary committee, both in the Senate and the National Assembly. But I think it has started in the National Assembly. Mondowane tuone no kamotere. Watch Mogig. Raila Amolo Odinga does not sit in cabinet. Does not sit in cabinet. Raila does not sit in the National Security Committee. It is Ruto who sits in those institutions. Kangato dwaro kelo lokrok ni jopiny. Kata higa chiel, 1 year. 1 year is a long time in the life of a government. I want to say without a fear of contradiction, the language that Ruto is using is the language of autocrats, of dictators in the making. If you had how Mobutu used to campaign, cheating common people with stolen money, language which is being used by Samoei Ruto. If you go to Haiti, there used to be a dictator in Haiti called Duvalier. The language is the same language. And the way he wants to radicalize the young people, the person who was best at radicalizing young people was no other than Adolf Hitler. So we got to be very careful.
Now moving on, Kenyatta University Staff Union KUSU National Governing Council is threatening to have members go on strike if the university management teams don't implement the 2017-2021 to CBA. Now speaking in Mombasa, the Secretary General Charles Mukaya said that the CBA was negotiated by all parties and the union was aware the government had dispatched 9.8 billion shillings to universities for full implementation. The union further accused employers of withholding the funds.
Bargaining agreement that was negotiated and signed in 2019. The government has ably gone ahead and disbursed funds towards that particular agreement to the universities for them to go on and implement the said CBA. But as we sit right now, these monies have been received by universities, and some, nearly all of them actually, have not implemented. And those that have implemented their own implementation matrices away from what was agreed between the social partners and mutually signed.
Now, Zambian opposition leader Hakainde Hichilema is currently leading in the country's presidential election over his long-term opponent and incumbent president Edgar Lungu. Now, this is according to the first results issued by the Electoral Commission on Saturday. The international roundup.
As the sixth president since 2015, faces a possibly tight contest against opposition leader Hakainde Hichilema, popularly known as HH, a businessman who has criticized the president's management of an economy in turmoil. Results from 15 of the country's 156 constituencies gave Hichilema 171,000 votes versus 110,000 votes garnered by Lungu, who is running for a second 5-year term. Those 15 constituencies include perceived Lungu strongholds, suggesting that Hichilema has gained ground since the last elections in 2016, when he lost by a slim margin in elections marred by allegations of rigging. Investors are closely watching the outcome of Thursday's election, as the Southern African country is highly indebted. The election also saw violence in 3 regions and restrictions on internet access. And elsewhere, with no drop of rain for the last 3 months, famine is devastating the south of Madagascar as it becomes the first country in the climate change. The World Food Programme now like something you would see in a horror movie. The famine caused by climate changes has had WFP warning that 1.14 million people are food insecure and 400,000 people are headed to famine. Hunger is already driving people to eat raw cactus, wild leaves and locusts, a food source of last resort. The WFP, which is on the ground helping with food distribution, describes scenes of unimaginable suffering, with families battering everything they have, even cooking pots and spoons. And finally, a virus known as Ebola's deadly cousin has been spotted for the first time in West Africa. The Marburg virus, which causes a severe disease that is in the same virus family that causes Ebola, has been identified in southwest Guinea near the borders of Sierra Leone and Liberia. There has been 1 known death and 155 people are in mandatory quarantine, as reported by WHO. The Marburg virus was found in the same region of Guinea that had a 2018 and 2016 that deaths. The region is also faced by a deadly Ebola outbreak this year that ended in June. It can be hard to tell the difference between Marburg and other tropical diseases like similar, according to the WHO statement.
Now, we will be taking a short break. We'll be back with more news, including sports. Stay tuned.
Welcome to Look Up Guest House, Retreat and Prayer Center. When you first come in, we will be happy to receive you at our reception, then proceed to our cozy and well-equipped accommodation facilities. We aim to provide our guests with a unique, comfortable. Here at Look Lookup Guest House, we provide our guests with a continuous supply of room amenities. A cool environment for all your retreat activities.
Lookup Guest House Retreat and Prayer Center. For reservation, contact us on info@lookupguesthouse.org or call us on 0746 788 707. On the next episode of Why I Did It.
Kuwa na beba ile chang'aa kutoka huko kwa mto kuleta mpaka mahali inakaanga kwa store. Huwezi amini mahali pa kulala nilikuwa nalala kwa hiyo store. Kulifika wakati sasa kukawa huku mji wetu kukawa sasa wizi umeingia sana. Na wakati wizi umeingia, boroni kukunywa na kunywa tu. Sasa watu wameanza kuona borodi ya mwizi kwa sababu kila wakati hafanyi kazi lakini kila wakati anakunywa. Sasa ikawa sasa nimeitiwa polisi. Sasa ndio wakuje wanichukue.
Why I Did It, Saturdays from 8 p.m. only on Lookup TV.
Welcome to the Natural Juicing Center. We are a unique organization that seeks to provide the community with an alternative healthcare option. We specialize in the use of a natural holistic system that focuses on building health through cleansing and nourishing of the body. We utilize a variety of natural health promoting methods in our services, which include juicing therapy, hydrotherapy, colon cleansing, massage therapy, and a comprehensive cleansing service, among others. Our juices are freshly made and tailored to each and every client's individual needs after evaluation by our team through our free consultation service. You can now book for any service or order for food supplements on our website www.naturaljuicingcenter.co.ke. You can also visit our center in Kahawa Sukari, house number 1334, Kahawa Sukari Avenue. Natural Juicing Center. Your health is your wealth.
You guys have to tweet about this. What phone is this? Hey, looks good. How much is it? You haven't heard of the Optiven offer? No. I must invest too. Optiven has this amazing offer. Huh? If you make a commitment of 900k in any of their value-added projects, you get rewarded with a cool smartphone, bro.
Like, follow, subscribe, click the notification button. Join the Lookup TV movement now.
Thank you so much for staying with us here on Trending News on Lookup TV. Remember, you can get in touch with us on our social media handles at Amoy Brian on Twitter at Lookup TV, or send us an SMS on 20374. We are also live on Facebook. Now, moving on matters politics again. Drama ensued in KWALE after Governor SALIM MVURYA and a host of other politicians walked out of the burial ceremony of former KWALE women representative ZAINAB Chidzuga. The governor and other politicians left after they were denied an opportunity to address the mourners at the former burial ceremony in GOLINI in MATUGA constituency. Waris Kimathi has more.
The family of the former MP had earlier communicated that political leaders would not be allowed to talk politics at the ceremony. The decision was communicated through former Transport Minister Ali Makwere, who was the family's spokesperson. The drama ensued after the deceased MP's last-born daughter, Mariam Chidzuga, wanted Agriculture Permanent Secretary Hamadi Boga to speak during the event. Mr. Makwere denied the request, taking the microphone from her and reiterating the earlier communication that no politicians would be allowed to address the mourners. He then asked any politician who had come with the intention of addressing the crowd to leave. These sentiments seemed to anger some of the political leaders present, most of whom got up and left in the middle of Mr. Makwere's address. The leavers were led by KWALE Governor SALIM MVURYA, who was followed by Cabinet Assistant Secretary Professor Omar Boga, KWALE Parliament Katibu Mwashetani, Kinango Member of Parliament Benjamin Tayari, and former Chief of Defense retired General Samson Mathethe. Following the mass walkout, many of the mourners present followed the leaders' cue and left the burial ceremony as well. Some KWALE County politicians who have ambitions to replace the current governor and had hopes of addressing the mourners also departed the venue. The late Chidzuga was buried on Friday afternoon at her home in Golini, MATUGA sub-county. She died on Thursday morning in a Nairobi hospital in what the family said were COVID-19 related complications. Her daughter, Moisha Chidzuga, said that the former member of parliament had contracted COVID-19 and recovered, but later developed new complications that ended up claiming her life. In a Safina Kwekwe, President Kenyatta as a hardworking leader who was always on the forefront in fighting for the rights of women and girls. Waris Kimathi, Look Up TV, Nairobi.
Now, moving on. Central Organization of Trade Union Kotu boss Francis Atwoli has been elected the chairperson of the Global Workers Awareness Fund based in Sydney, Australia. Atwoli will serve for a 3-year term and is expected to travel to Sydney for his acceptance speech. Now, SALIM with more on that story.
A statement by Kotu Deputy Secretary General Benson Okwaro, the Workers' Union said Atwoli was elected during Friday's elections, which were carried out by the delegates. The delegates, after electing him, said that Atwoli's dedication and years of selfless service are key attributes towards the chairing and management of the funds. In addition, they said that he was the favorite candidate for the position, considering that he is the longest-serving member of the International Labour Organization, which coordinates Africa and Asia workers. The sole objective of the fund is to create awareness on socio-economic and political issues. The recent election by Atwoli comes after he was re-elected for the 4th time as a member of the International Labour Organization ILO, governing body in Geneva, Switzerland. SALIM, Look Up TV, Nairobi.
Now, let's get a little bit sporty. Ken has made no secret of his desire to leave his boyhood club with City, the obvious destination, as they seek a successor to all-time top scorer Sergio Aguero, who has departed Manchester for Barcelona. Now, that story brings us to the end of our bulletin today, but before we do that, let me take you through some of the trending topics today. Today we are having justice for Kianjakoma brothers, who were laid to rest yesterday. People want justice for them. Somebody here says, I'm mourning with this, the mother, the pain of losing a child. Talk of two, Mungu ampe amani. So people are demanding justice for the two brothers who were killed allegedly in the hands of the police officers. Another one says, another day we are demanding justice for Kianjakoma brothers, and that. Then something else, great Manchester Manchester United is playing today and the whole world is happy. Currently, somebody else says it's match day and you know it's game over when these lads assist and goal in one picture, boom, referring to Fernandez and yes. Somebody else says Ole Gunnar Solskjaer bringing Sancho to Pogba, Bruno Fernandes and Greenwood, while Manchester United is already leading 5-1. So yes, so after yesterday's Arsenal defeat, at least the Red Devils today will have something to smile about. The streets will not be safe for most people. I know some people here who will give most of us not an easy time. When it comes to matters comments, I think on Facebook somebody says, watching from Congo Kawangware, watching from Congo Kawangware, that is Rehema Baraza. Thank you so much for watching. Carol Kariuki, watching from Ruaka, watching from Ruaka. Yeah, thank you so much for watching. It is because of you that we are here. Tuned in from Westlands. Wanjiru Agosho watching. Ocheng Sylvian says, this narrative that politicians have, where they think they have the right to go to burial and sell their agendas, should come to an end. Yes, those are some of the comments. Thank you so much for watching, and I think that brings us to the end of this bulletin at this hour. As the game of Manchester United still continues, we hope that, or rather it's already a victory, but hoping for more victory. Thank you so much for making time for us. This has been Trending News. My name is Brian Amwai. Keep it Look Up TV for our subsequent bulletins. At 7 o'clock, we'll be having Tarifa Kuu with SALIM. Have yourselves a wonderful evening.
We value your feedback and welcome your complaints about our programming and operations. Feel free to get in touch with us through 0700 893 542 or send us an email to views@look-up.tv. We can't wait to hear from you.